Celebrating its 18th year, TiECon is Thai's annual flagship event and the world's largest conference for entrepreneurs. Every May, over 3,000 attendees gather for 2 days of thought-provoking topics on entrepreneurship, industry trends, and opportunities, all delivered by renowned keynote speakers, eminent entrepreneurs, investors, and corporate executives. WomenNow will bring you a series of segments highlighting what you can expect at this premium event this year. Coming up next is our first interview of this series where Harbi will talk to people behind the event, so stay tuned.
I'm Deepak Chopra and you're watching Women Now.
I'm Charleston Pierce from San Francisco, and I love watching Women Now.
The trailblazers of Silicon Valley didn't stop at starting some of the greatest companies of the modern times. They also started the organization to foster entrepreneurship for others, TiE. To tell us more, I have the pleasure of welcoming Vish Mishra, president of TiE Silicon Valley, and Jay Rawat, convener of TiECon 2011. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. Vish, you know, I've heard a very interesting phrase about you. You're known as the biggest connector in Silicon Valley. What is all that about? What does that really mean?
Well, you know, I guess I have too many friends who love me, and maybe they use the moniker, but it's a huge honor that the Science and Mercury did a story. Right. And they talked about the 10 superstars of Silicon Valley that no one has heard of. So now,
so we have our own superstar sitting with us today.
So they talked to a lot of people, and they described me the way they have known me for so many years, and maybe that's what this is Chris O'Brien. Credit goes to him. I think he coined the term. So.
But that's probably because you love connecting people, and I think that's probably the reason you started TiE.
Yes,
with TiE, right?
Yeah, I think there's some truth to that, but I'm pretty sure it's slightly exaggerated.
Well, so speaking of that, so what got you involved with TiE? I mean, I know you love helping people and bringing them together, but what's your real story behind that? What got you engaged?
Yeah, so the founding notion just basically was just that, okay? Just a lot of us, you know, again, who came and we had succeeded, and we say, gee, let's kind of form a society and help others. So we started just by you know, getting together and telling our own story to each other. And after, I think we got tired of that, so we said, gee, wouldn't it be nice if we invite other people and let us hear, let them hear our stories, yeah. Okay? And I think that's how we started attracting other people. And then we said, gee, and they really liked our story. They liked the knowledge that we had, the wisdom we had, and some, you know, practical, you know, tips and tricks and do's and don'ts that we could share with them. And now, you know, it has just, you know,
it's
become
blossomed.
It has just become.
So, which is why it sounds like you're the biggest connector, because you love helping bring people together, make their dreams come true, and that's why you joined TiE. See, this all kind of makes sense. So you can't be so humble about it.
Okay, well,
this is our biggest connector.
Thank you. You said it. So
I said it. So in terms of that, I mean, you also have an interesting story. You've been with TiE for a very long time. So what got you involved? I mean, if I remember correctly, you've been with TiE almost a decade now, right?
Well, that's true. My first exposure to TiE was through TiECon. Mm-hmm. I think it was back in the year 2000. But to see so many other entrepreneurs who are also trying to change things, who are also trying to do something different, was just such a huge inspiration for me.
Which is probably why you are now a serial entrepreneur, because as I understand it, you have started another company called Shop Socially.
That is true.
So it seems like to me it's in your blood, and so is that why you came back to TiE to, you know, kind of help out and be a convener this year?
True. So after my first company, I had a successful exit and then became a charter member. started attending more Thai events. And then about 4 years ago, I started really getting involved in the organization as well, and I became the content chair for one of the TiECons. And since then, I've been the content chair 3 times, and this time I'm the chair for the conference. So you can say that I got engaged with Thai about 10 years ago, and now I'm married to Thai.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. If you get engaged, there's no stopping it there. You have to go to the next step, right? Being married to it.
The biggest sectors that are very important are the whole social media, social networking phenomena. So we got thriving programs around that.
Which we
got
have
the
a
whole,
living example
exactly,
of an
we got
entrepreneur in the same space.
Mr.
Okay.
Social, right, infrastructure,
And there's also the Thai
mobile.
Women's Forum, right? Because that's how I came to know about
Oh,
it.
absolutely. Women's Forum is very, very good and it is very successful. On the other, the industry sectors, the mobile is a big category. Energy is a huge stuff,
Right.
okay? The life sciences, healthcare, IT, big thing.
So really right in line with whatever's really happening in the times
Exactly,
today. We're completely
exactly.
lined up with
And
it.
we do 50, 60 such programs year round, 5,000-6,000 people show up, okay? Last 3 years ago, we have milled 25,000 people. I don't know if any organization that has 25,000 people have come, to listen to, our speakers and, mingle and network
So how large
and start
is
business.
Thai overall?
Thai globally is very large. We have more than upward of 15,000 members. But
Wow.
mind you, we don't cater to the masses. I just want to make a very distinction. We cater to a very tiny sliver of the American population, which is 2%. Only 2% of the people are enterprising. So that's okay. There are other society, other organizations that cater to the 98%, but our mission is purely that of entrepreneurship.
Right.
Business building, wealth creation, giving back. So as such, okay, we are very impactful because when you create a business, create an opportunity, then you employ a lot of people. You build a community, you build a society. So we are highly impactful, even though our membership caters to a very tiny sliver of the American
Which it
population.
sounds like that's where TiECon came to be, right? I think from this fostering of entrepreneurship, it sounds like that's where TiECon kind of took birth as a way of bringing all these people together. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about TiECon?
Sure. As Vish said, the goal of Thai is to foster entrepreneurship, and TiECon is the flagship program that Thai organizes every year. This is a conference where new entrepreneurs are born every year.
Or entrepreneurs too,
Or
because you can take
entrepreneurs,
leverage this even for your own company, correct?
Absolutely. And existing entrepreneurs, they get a lot of education, they learn the secrets of success. And every year, it is the world's largest conference for entrepreneurs, attended by over 3,000 people every year. And this year, the focus is on innovation. As you know, innovation is the prerequisite to entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
So the focus is on that. And we have a couple of new programs this year in addition to the phenomenal keynotes and the panel discussions that we have every year. We are creating the world's first and the one-of-a-kind Innovation Expo this year, where we will handpick and showcase the most innovative startups, corporate labs, university labs, government programs under one roof. And this will be the first time such a thing has been attempted, and we are very excited about that. So, the TiECon will be there on May 13th and 14th of this year, and would love to have everyone join. And
yeah, absolutely. Maybe with my own
be there.
personal experience, having worked with you both over the last couple of years, and it's something I think we should definitely tell our viewers that it is a volunteer-driven organization as well as volunteer-driven conference, only of its kind, and yet it is loved and they have a huge loyal following.
This is the only conference that I know of that is purely run by volunteers, and they are all so passionate. I mean, where else would
Exactly.
you find a professional organization where people voluntarily call themselves junkies?
So I think that's a takeaway we'd like to make sure we share with our with our viewers today, that it is all about passion, it is all about your innovation and that entrepreneurial spirit. So I'm really glad you both came today and shared that with our viewers. I think it's going to be an excellent opportunity for them to attend. So thank you both for coming.
Welcome.
Now you have some insights into one of the great organizations of the Bay Area and an event that should not be missed. Over the next few weeks, you'll find out more tips and secrets to becoming a successful entrepreneur or an entrepreneur. So stay tuned.
This is Toby Chaudhary. I'm a political strategist in Washington, D.C., and I watch WomenNow, America's first South Asian TV talk show.
Hello.
Women Now, America's first South Asian TV talk show. Become our fan today on our Facebook page for updates, uncut shows, and a sneak peek into our world. Tell your friends about us and help us grow our community. Women Now, because every woman is special.
From our TiECon series, we bring you an amazing success story from our Thai entrepreneurs. In 2008, when mobile apps were not the thing, these founders filled a niche. Was it chance or was it smart decision making? Today, we bring you the founders of MobClicks. Welcome. So we have Vishal, Sunil, and Krishna. So first of all, you guys have all known each other for a while, right? So how did you get started?
Yeah, it was back actually in February 2008. We just kind of finished respectful projects. I was doing digital media for Accenture. Sunil was over in Boston. Krishna, we just finished, was part of the founding team of Lithium, which is over at Yahoo. And we looked at the iPhone. We saw it was a game-changing device. And we all sat down and said, look, Google Analytics made a huge, huge splash because they gave analytics for free. We looked at the mobile websites. We looked at advertising. And we wanted a way to just say, okay, apps are going to be big. How do we take care of this situation? And we all came together. Krishna thought of the name MobClicks. We thought of so many other different names, but that was the one that stuck. It had an X in it. It sounded really awesome. We signed up for it right away. And then from there, we started culminating in a strategy in terms of how we actually going to do this. We started with the idea of saying, let's give analytics away for free. There was a big Apple conference coming a couple months later. So we kind of just hit the pedal to the metal and started the company, bootstrapped it ourselves. Three of the four founders are here. And then, we took it from there. And then when we launched in June of 2008, we kind of launched it under the table just to see what people were saying. We started getting our first customers to use our platform, and they actually started getting analytics data. We saw this huge market adoption started happening because the iPhone was a big deal, game changing. And of course, the App Store got launched by Steve Jobs. So with all those big market factors, you saw 2008 just starting the big, the variances for a huge success coming. And then from there, after analytics happened, we started doing competitions, and then we actually then became an ad exchange, which is what we are today.
So speaking about ad exchange, you have thousands and thousands of developers following you. What is MobClicks really about?
Yeah, so MobClicks is really about getting mobile content and monetizing content. We want to find out if you're an application developer, if you're a content owner for mobile websites, how do you monetize that? And how do you do it to the best ability? So if you look at all the different things going on in the online world, and there's a big online ecosystem going on, MobClicks is specifically focused on giving content owners making the most money on every impression, whether it be a click to call, a click to banner, a banner impression. It could be a click to download an application, whatever it may be. We want to give them the platform and the tools for them to monetize their content. Now, on the other side of the equation is what we call demand. And that's really the advertiser. So it could be an ad network, it could be a DSP, it could be an agency. And they want to be able to reach a new audience, a targeted audience, and then also be able to get a new mobile user who's always connected. You know what their location is, you know the context, and now you can monetize a mobile user even better than before. So we're really about connecting the dots. And today we do about 10 billion ad impressions a month across about 18,000 mobile applications and content sites.
I'm really curious, when you started this, you had to have made some really select decisions. Can you remember along the way things that you particularly did that really helped you get to where you are today?
Yeah, definitely. I think, one of the first things when we started is outside the founders, we created we hired rock stars for our founding team. So you bring in the right talent that's going to help you, take the company to the next plateau. And I think that becomes really important is if you don't have people that are really strong around you, it's hard to innovate in the space. It's hard to define what the market is going to be, especially when we're going into mobile applications. The App Store hasn't even launched. We have to look to the online advertising space, see what's worked there, and figure out how do we bring those same, learnings into the mobile space and start to define that.
I think one of the things that I also remember talking to you guys about, one of the decisions you made was about where you're going to get funding from, right? I don't think you used a VC. What was your thought behind that?
No, we didn't. Myself and Sumit, who's the fourth founder, we were both on the venture capital private equity side, and we had realized that because this was such a nascent market that a lot of the VCs didn't really understand kind of where the market could go to. So we realized that, we're going to have to bootstrap it the true entrepreneurial way on our credit cards and just our own kind of funding. And then we did a small angel round and, we took it to profitability from there. So, for us, what really happened there was our valuation was a lot higher for us. The incentives for all the employees were a lot better than if we were with the, working with the VC. And, that's really kind of one of the decisions that we made that helped us out a lot.
So I think as far as now, you have actually merged with another company recently and then had your second exit with an IPO, correct?
That's right. Yeah, we were acquired by Velti in October of last year.
And you've also, I think, gone through IPO recently?
Yeah, they went public at the end of January of this year, actually.
So besides funding, I think you also mentioned that you did some really active things in terms of competitions, right? What kind of competitions were you involved in?
Yeah, so there were a couple of two competitions that were really exciting for us back in 2008. The first one was TechCrunch 50. TechCrunch basically interviews about 3,500 companies, and they were trying to find what's different and what's unique and what has really good market adoption. And MobClicks became one of the TechCrunch 50 companies. And one of the rules, if you will, of being a TechCrunch 50 company is you basically go dark. So you can't say anything, you can't make any press announcements. You really just have a brand and a domain name. And in September, when we launched in 2008, it just caused a huge amount of momentum for us, and it really catalyzed us to be top of mind for developers. And the second competition we actually did in parallel, which was also exciting, was a competition called Seed Camp. It's essentially the Y Combinator version of London.
We're the WomenNow dance company, and you're
Watching WomenNow! Woo!
Hi everyone, I'm Mona from the Mona Sampat Khan Dance Company, and you're watching Women Now.
It's time for TiECon Now. TiECon, held in Silicon Valley, is the world's premier conference on entrepreneurship. We will hear firsthand stories of success and see glimpses of TiECon. Paul Singh and Gautam Tokcham are here today to give us some insights into this wildly successful event. Welcome, guys. Thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So Paul, you're been a volunteer with TiE for years. You're also a board member of TiE, and I think combined together, you both are the chairs for marketing and sales.
Yes.
So what's all the involvement? What was behind all this? I mean, you've been engaged with the TiECon for a long time now.
Yeah, I've been involved with TiE for about 15 years. When I started my first company, I came to the first TiECon at that time, and met the very first VC who ended up giving us a term sheet.
So it's very personal for you.
So that was kind of a real success story from my point of view.
That's for our audience. Explain to them what makes TiECon happen. It's not obviously a company that comes out here and does TiECon for us.
When you see a movie, at the end of the movie, if you sit through, there is that 5 minutes of the names that keep going across, which many of us just don't really understand and spend time on. Mm-hmm. So TiECon is in a way like a movie production, where there are hundreds of people that it takes to build a TiECon. The difference being all of those people are paid for, so even if you don't listen to their name, it doesn't matter, they got paid.
In the case of a movie.
But in case of a TiECon, everyone, including myself, you, Gautam, anyone who has been involved in, we are all volunteers. We don't get paid for it. We just do it because we are passionate about the cause. We do it because we think this adds value. We do it because we think this is our way of giving back.
So basically, what we're saying is we all agree we're all TiECon junkies because we've gotten such great stuff out of it, and now we're kind of addicted and we have to keep going back. But that is the reason, obviously, why we do this.
So just so you know, an event like TiECon, it takes about, if you talk to any other event like this, it costs a couple of $1 million to produce an event like TiECon. And being that TiECon is such a volunteer-driven event, it costs us about $500,000 to produce everything. It includes all the audiovisuals, entertainment, and everything else.
But yet the quality is equivalent, if not more, than most conferences out there. So in terms of TiECon this year, what do you really see is, what's really behind TiECon this year? I mean, I'd love to know who else you think is coming to TiECon this year.
So TiECon is actually, as you may have heard, is the world's largest conference for entrepreneurs. So in the entrepreneurial community, it's not just the entrepreneurs, it's the ecosystem that support the entire entrepreneurship community as well. So typically in a TiECon, we have about 3,200 to 3,800 people who show up for this two-day event. And about 25% plus is entrepreneurs just starting out or in the verge of starting out. And then we have about 30 to 40% are engineers and technicians and architects who are actually thinking about, may not necessarily be starting a company, but they could be an entrepreneur, if you please. And then we have, the people who have the money, the VC community, the law firms, they all show up there. So typically that's what it is. And let's not forget, people come to hire and look for jobs as well in TiECon. And also, not just the private communities, the public community, we have government agencies as well. In the state of Ontario and Canada, Mexico, Singapore, they all come with big pavilions there as well to kind of attract entrepreneurs to their countries as well. This is a great event for you to come there and get a broad perspective of who's in what sector. And it's amazing. Over here, you'll see all the VCs, the CIOs, the lead people in all the industry. It's just amazing amount of information that you can gather in 2 days.
TiE has the Oscars for startups.
So we picked the winners from an expert panel in 5 vertical industry segments. So we pick about 50 winners. And just to give you a feel, we started last year with about 5,000 companies.
Yes.
And then we narrowed it down to 50 of them. And that is what we call the Oscars of TiE.
TiECon is the world's largest conference to foster entrepreneurship. There's no other event of its kind. Come rub shoulders with innovators, industry leaders, and VCs alike. Don't miss this opportunity to open the doors to your future.
Hi, we're from Aerodance.